The design for this listing, I created it in like 20 minutes. This one, I almost didn't post it. And this one, I didn't think that anybody would actually buy it. But all of these listings have seen 4 and 5 figures in revenue. Today, I'm going to walk you through a super simple and repeatable process that you can take and steal from this video to go and create your own unique designs today that can end up potentially turning into listings that look like these. I promise you, this is something that you do not need to overthink. You just need a simple process that allows you to take action. And that is exactly what I'm walking you through today. If you are completely new to my channel, hello, my name is Taylor. I am simply a 29-year-old regular schmegular gal. I left my full-time corporate job to pursue full-time entrepreneurship. Now I make all of my income online, my primary income stream being print on demand, which is what I talk a lot about here on my channel. So if that is something that interests you, be sure to boop the subscribe button down below. When we start talking about design, the very first thing that we need to do collectively as a whole is let go of perfectionism. I truly cannot tell you how many times I've had a bestseller be a design that I almost didn't post. And it's kind of crazy to think about because if I never posted them, then I never would have seen the results that I have in my business. And the only shift that I did to make this happen was letting go of the perfectionism. When I let go of the obsession over every little detail and I just started posting what I was creating and started to see more views, more favorites, and ultimately more sales, that is truly what got me over that hump of perfectionism and allowed me to let go and to continue to push through, which in order to even get there, you have to just post. So that is our first step here. And I actually want you to comment down below or write this in a notebook somewhere, text it to yourself. Put this truly down on paper or digitally in the comment section down below. I want you to write that you are letting go. Letting go of perfectionism, letting go of your limiting beliefs, letting go of all of the little things that are holding you back. When we truly release that type of energy, when we put it in the comments, write it down in a notebook, that is going to help you have a lot more action behind the words. So I want you to actually put pen to paper, fingertips to keyboard, whatever the case may be. Now, another way for you to let go of some of that perfectionism, because yes, that was kind of like a little bit of a woo-woo way of doing it, writing it down, typing it out, but a more practical, tactical way of doing so is what I recommend when it comes to the amount of designs that you actually create. I personally recommend and do myself create a minimum of 25 designs for every single niche that I pursue. And this isn't some weird mumbo jumbo of like, oh, as soon as you hit 25, your listings take off. That's not the case, but you just truly don't know what's actually going to resonate, what's actually going to connect with your target audience. And so the magic, so to speak, behind having 25 is more so that you're really saturating your opportunity. And I more so look at that number of 25 as a source of collecting data. That data that we're collecting is looking at, okay, of all of those 25 designs, which ones are getting views? Which ones have the most views? Do any of them have favorites? Are there any that are starting to get sales? Looking at all of these little opportunities for customer interaction are going to help give me an indicator and you an indicator for your listings, your designs, as to what is actually connecting with your audience. And what is connecting is what you want to create more of. The reason that I think that this actually helps is because when you shift into the mindset of, oh, I'm going to be creating 25 anyway, I think it releases the pressure of trying to make sure that they're all super incredibly perfect and you just start to post them, which is what I want you to do. Next on the agenda is we are going to get into research, because if you start by staring at your blank canvas, you are going to stay staring at that blank canvas. We need to get some creative juices flowing. We need to get some reps in on the creativity muscle going on in our mind. And how we do that is with design research. I am going to kick this off on Pinterest. You don't have to kick this off on Pinterest. I'm just going to show you how I utilize Pinterest because I know many of you have actually been curious how I do design research on Pinterest, but Pinterest is one source of where I like to find inspo, as well as I like to do my design research directly on Etsy. And actually the third place that I like to find inspiration is out and about when I'm at Target Walmart, Marshalls, Home Goods, the grocery store, the gym, literally just anywhere that I am going out and about in my daily routine. When I'm doing this, I'm not necessarily actively looking for specific things. I'm just noticing what is around me. This could be noticing something that somebody's wearing. This could be noticing a new display in Target, and maybe I see a really cool color combination that I wouldn't have naturally thought of. Letting go of that perfectionism is letting go of the overthinking. So this research is not something that we are overthinking either. Now on Pinterest, I just did a quick little search. I just typed in 2025 design trends. I don't necessarily always just type in this. I type in all types of things. I type in women's t-shirts. I type in girly things. I type in home design. I type in all types of search terms. There's no right or wrong way to do this. You are simply looking for inspiration. Inspiration does not have to come from the niche that you are pursuing. It does not have to come from the exact product type that you're pursuing. You can find inspiration everywhere. So let me show you exactly what I mean. Immediately, something that stands out to me here is this little pin over here. I like the sweatshirt that this girl has on. I think it is cute. What is standing out to me are the colors. I like the pink, I like the red, the lighter pink, this like orangey yellow, even her shoes, a little bit of pink and green combination going on there. So what I am going to do is I'm going to take a screenshot of this. I'm on a Mac, so if you are on a Mac as well, if you do Command Shift 4, that will actually allow you to, you can see I'm kind of just like drawing what I want to take a screenshot of here. So I'm going to just take that and I now have a screenshot. If you're on a PC, I'll put the keys that you can use to do a screenshot like this on your device. Now I'm going to go back to the search results and I'm truly going to just repeat this. I'm just looking for anything that stands out to me. Here's another thing that I really like. This is a cute color palette. So I'm going to take a screenshot of this. I like these color combinations. Again, there's no right or wrong way here. There's no specific indicator that you're looking for or anything like that. I'm genuinely just looking for things that capture my attention.
A few moments later.
Next part of my process is I'm going to go in and create a vision board. Now I am going to be using Kittl to do my designs today. Also, I do have a link for Kittl in the description box below, as well as a discount code. If you use Taylor PODYT, that is going to save you a little bit of money on a Kittl plan. So I'm going to go ahead and create my vision board directly in Kittl. And what I want to start off by doing is bringing in all of those screenshots from Pinterest and putting them just on an artboard by themselves. This is everything that I found inspiration from on Pinterest. Very simple, took screenshots, added it to the vision board. Part 2, after we have our inspiration, now it's time to analyze our inspiration. This is the in-between step between finding the inspiration and actually creating something from it. In order to really connect this to this, we need to understand what we are looking at. This is the most critical step. And just like with finding inspiration, there's no right or wrong way to do this. This is your interpretation. You are analyzing this for your own benefit. I'm going to just walk you through how my brain interprets it. I'm literally just brain dumping what is in my head as I am looking at what I am seeing. So for example, I look at this design right here. Why this is standing out to me and some of the components that I can analyze from it is that it is a big, thick, bubbly looking text or font. It has pink, red, deeper red colors and tones. The colors rotate in the words, and the words, this one and this one, are hollow. I kind of like to think of this as I'm describing this in a way that it would make sense to somebody who's blindfolded. I'm really just trying to pull out the components that I am looking at. The reason that this is beneficial is because when you start to understand what you're looking at, it's going to make it easier to actually create something with those unique components. For example, say I just take inspiration from this first component. I'm going to go ahead and just duplicate this really quick. Let's get rid of all of these other pictures, and I am going to go ahead and add some text. Now, I'm not going to be picky about the font right now. I just want to get the structure in place for what I'm looking to create. So let's just do 2 lines of text. We'll just pick a random niche. Let's just say let's do the nursing niche. There's a lot of very specific types of nurses that tend to do really well on Etsy. We'll say neonatal nurse. Now, one thing that I'm going to do, I am going to make this a little bit bigger. This is something that isn't coming necessarily from this inspiration. This is just coming from my own compounded design research from years of looking at designs. Something that I notice and what I've seen do really well is when lines of text are actually the same width. So instead of keeping this smaller and having it a little bit more narrow and having this empty space on the side, it feels a little bit more balanced when it is bigger and actually kind of lines up with the other text. Now, if I'm looking for inspiration from this design over here, immediately I can say, all right, let's take this nurse and let's make it hollow. Now, this is actually really easy to do in Kittl. What I'm going to do is just add in a border, and you can increase the border weight here. Now, to actually see this take into effect, I want to make the inside of the letters that hollow look. In order to do that, I just need to get rid of the color. So I can actually just click the minus here. That is going to take the color out of the letters. Quick little tip here. If you are doing a design like this, let me undo really quick. You don't want to, a common mistake is change the color to white. The reason being is if I just change the color to white and say, for example, this is going to be on the gray shirt, it's not actually transparent, the lettering. It is just going to be white and it's going to print like that, which is not the look that I'm going for. So we are going to remove, not that. We are going to click this and we are going to remove this color so that it is transparent. And then from there, we can adjust the border weight and adjust the thickness of it. Perfect. Okay, now the next thing that I want to do, I really like how these colors rotate. Now, the whole rotating color design style, that's something that's been super trendy for a really long time. I've personally had tons of bestsellers with that element to them, and I have been promised that it is coming to Kittl soon, but let me show you how I actually do it in Kittl now, but know that in the future, you'll be able to do it a lot more seamlessly. So how I'm going to do this is I am going to get rid of all of these letters. We're going to just have our N. And for this, let me make this a little bit more narrow. Perfect. We'll put it like that. I am going to go ahead and grab my color, use my color dropper tool. This is why I like having my inspo directly inside of my artboards, because then I can pull from the colors that I'm looking to create. So clicking the little color dropper tool here, I'm going to go over to the blue, and just like that, I have that exact color. Now I'm going to duplicate this, bring it over. Let's do our E, bring that in. Go to our color, same thing, color dropper. I am going to rotate through these colors. I think that this is such a cute color palette. Perfect. I really like that. Now, another thing that I want to do, something that I'm kind of noticing is a lot of these letters, they're not really right in a line with each other. They're kind of more jumbled. So I'm going to actually do the same thing here. And I want this all to be one color. I think I'm going to pull from, let's see what the blue, I don't know if I want the blue. I kind of want to bring a different color, maybe do the red. Yes, I like the red. Okay, so we are going to do that, but I'm going to basically do the same thing that I did with the letters, but instead of having them different colors, I'm going to just do the one. I think something like that looks really good. Perfect. I like that. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger since that's kind of condensed. And something that you can do if you ever have elements like this, just to keep you from discombobulating them, what you can do is group them together. So you can just click more options and click group, or you can do Command G, or I believe Control G if you're on a PC. And by doing so, now this is all grouped together. So when I click it, it's all going to stay together, as opposed to me accidentally grabbing one of the letters and it's now all out of order. Now, I have already taken some elements from what I found inspiration from. I found inspiration with a color palette here. I found a style that I liked by looking at this photo here, and I could continue this and add more elements, or I could leave it as is. This is something I definitely would post as is, but if I wanted to take it I don't know, another level. Let me show you how I could get even more creative with it. So say, for example, we'll duplicate this and I'm going to we'll just bring this over here just so that you can see, because another thing that stood out to me, I really liked in this design style right here, how they had this line of colors along the bottom. I thought that that was really unique. So that's another thing that I could do to take this to another level or mix up this design style. So let's take all of these. I am going to make this all black. Same thing with this. I'm going to make this black. And then I'm going to recreate this line. So I'm going to go to Elements. Let's just grab this rectangle and voila, look at that. That is now just another take on some of the inspiration that I've found here. Because this one does have black, I would make a dark and a light version. So anytime I use black in a design, I always create an alternate version. So say, for example, we'll change the artboard. We'll pretend that this is also being sold on something that's dark like this. And then I can change everything to white. So now I have a light variation version that can be printed on a white, lighter color product. And then I also have a darker version. Another thing too, with this, they have a little bit of a border. So I could add a border as well if that's something that I really liked from that original component. Very similar, just like we did with these letters, I could go to border here and add a little bit of that border weight and repeat that onto all of those different elements and mix it up that way. Honestly, I kind of like it without the border, so I'm gonna eliminate that. I think that looks really cool as is. Another thing that I could do, just because we're in Kittl, and I don't know, I just like showing all of the random little things that I like to do in Kittl. I like to add texture to a lot of my designs. How I do that, I always just choose this first texture right here, click the texture. I'm going to mask the texture. What that is going to do is clip it just onto the design. So it's not going to apply to the entire artboard. And I'm going to go to this drop down, and I like to do the alpha mask. And then you can adjust the intensity of it. So right now it's on 100. I usually like to lower it down. I'll go to maybe like 40 or 50. And just like that, you can see it has a little bit, if I zoom in here, it has a little bit of just this textured look to it. And the alpha mask makes it so that it is a transparent texture. Now, if I did it to one, I would do it to all, or I would do it to both of the designs that are intended to be on the same product. So same thing, we're gonna go down to alpha mask. We'll put this at 50. Again, making sure that we mask that texture if this is something that you use, because as you can see, if you don't mask it, it's going to apply it to everything that is around here. So masking it just applies it to that like that. I'm hoping that this is showing you how you can find inspiration truly from so many different things, and you can create something that is a lot more original and unique in the space that you're looking to add value in and create something new for. I have a few other design videos on my channel like this one that I will link in the description box below, as well as I have an entire free course called Design Kickstart that walks you through exactly how to create best-selling designs, as well as it talks a little bit about using design softwares. So making sure that you not only know how to create designs that will sell, but how to also create designs that you have the usage rights to sell as well. Next time you feel stuck or you feel like you're out of design ideas, I hope that you go to this process and try it out for yourself. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't done so already, be sure to boop the subscribe button down below so that you do not miss out on any future videos. If you're ever looking for additional support, more design resources, then I encourage you to check out my community, the POD Connection. Your invite is always in the description box below, where you can join me and hundreds of other print-on-demand entrepreneurs who are planning, scaling, and profiting with print-on-demand. As a reminder, I do have that discount code for Kittl in the description box below. Use code Taylor PODYT with my link, and you're going to save a little bit of money on your Kittl plan. As always, I hope you're having a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.